Hey guys, Davey here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know this is not today's Tuesday. It's not Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, but I thought we'd do a special video, especially with the coronavirus out here, and sort of talk about my thoughts and what I believed in, and sort of how I see this whole entire virus going out, and sort of to talk about it a little bit. Hopefully, calm some of you guys down, and sort of get us on a similar track, and maybe talking about it, but. Just talk a little bit about some of the issues that I see going on with the media and politics involving the virus and all that stuff. So I have a couple points I want to go through. One thing was we're getting the one thing you see is this virus has become way too political, and the media has gone out and really attacked this virus too politically, and has been really just, in my opinion, doing a really horrible job on both sides. Whether you're leaning towards the left or the right, doesn't really matter. Both sides are making this way too political, blaming each other, blaming past administrations, blaming the current administration for issues. And at this point, this is something we should talk about. This is something you should talk about after the virus has been settled down, after we've had the situation under control, but it's not something we should be fighting over and dealing with as we're dealing with the virus right now. I mean, right now, the safety of our people and what we should be doing together is more important than who was right, who was wrong, who's doing a good situation, who's not. You can attack President Trump all you want after the virus is gone, but at the moment, this is becoming a political show, and instead of being a concern for the American people and really taking care of the American people. Another thing too that we see here, and sort of everything's closing down right now. So I just want to explain that a little bit to some people. Maybe they're a little concerned as to why everything's closing down or don't fully understand it. So the whole point of the closing of schools, closing of restaurants, bars, if you're in Illinois, and I believe Ohio as well, is that they're trying the best to stop the spreading, right? There's a bell curve that came out. I forgot which news source came out with it, but basically, if this is all experiential growth, and it's all compounding, right? This virus, since it spreads really, really rapidly, we don't know how many people actually have the infection, and so our main point right now is stop the spreading of the virus. It's to make sure that the bell curve that we have isn't too huge in the beginning, and instead is sort of over time gradually has more and more people infected. The reason for that is because hospitals are able to actually then go ahead and take care of all the people infected, instead of having to choose basically who lives and dies like they're doing in Italy. For those of you that don't know the situation, Italy has been overrun with a ton of people that have been infected with the virus. Hospitals are unable to take care of everyone there. They're having a hard time getting all the respiratory machines and resources to each of the patients, and because of that, they're actually having to choose between who they believe has a better chance of living, who they believe they should take care of first, and they have to turn people down because they don't have enough resources to take care of and accumulate all those people all at once. And that's something that U.S. and a lot of countries are doing right now, is they're going on to a full-on national shutdown to keep the amount of people at one point in time going to the hospitals with the infection with the virus down. Another thing too, this is something that freaks everyone out, is the huge economic impact. I'm recording this on Monday, so I don't know how it's gonna be tomorrow, but as of today, the Dow Jones point average, I mean, it just fell down. It's being wiped out ever since basically a couple of weeks ago. The financial markets had just been completely being destroyed and wiped out. I think we went from about 29,000, I want to say, to about 20 to probably dropping to about $19,000 for the Dow Jones, and which is a huge impact because that's all 4 years of President Trump's presidency when he went to office, the Dow Jones was about 19 to 20,000. So we just literally collapsed all the way back to where he started when he first took office. Now, again, a lot of people are freaking out that we're going to a recession. Guys, there's not too much of a panic. Yes, we could be going to a recession, but as long as we're able to stop the spread, get back, open everything up in the next 2 weeks to a month, we should still be fully okay. The markets right now are reacting really poorly and flying all over the place, but that's only because of a lack of information and certainty. So people aren't certain as to what is going on. People don't know what could be going on, what might be going on, and people are freaking out because of it. That's why at the moment right now, it's best not to panic. It's best to calm down with the economy. If you're looking at stocks, stop looking at it. It's going to keep falling down. People are uncertain. Machines, it's all systematic. So the machines, when it sees that the stocks and the value is going down, they're going to automatically start selling. So computers are all set up to basically go ahead and fall whenever a big issue like this is going on. So again, right now, there's not too much of a worry. Yes, we're taking hits. Companies are taking hits, and there's going to be, government's going to step in, hopefully help as many people as possible. But again, this is a huge economic impact, but it's not something that I feel that's going to get us into a recession. The reason for that is because there's not really any huge bubble or anything that's really damaging the U.S. When we look at maybe China and Japan and European countries, they might be a little worse off. But as at the moment, I mean, banks are still really liquid. Banks have a ton of money. So right now, it's just all about weathering the storm. And actually, this is probably the best time to learn about investing in stocks, maybe even invest. Again, disclaimer, I'm not a stockbroker or any experiential. I'm not experienced in stocks. But this is a great time to study it. And, if we do get out of this and we start going back up, the gains could be huge. So something to really spend some time learning if you're really interested. Another point I had, too, is, look, this is a time to stand together and get over it. I'm going to combine it with my last point, which if most of you probably haven't seen it, but yesterday on Sunday was the CNN Democratic debate between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. Now, I just got to say that was probably the worst showing I've ever had. CNN, I'm sorry, but the questions you were asking were just absolutely horrible. Again, too political. You guys were creating this virus, and I again, not trying to get into politics here, but Bernie Sanders was pushing his agenda way too hard for the coronavirus. And I believe Joe Biden did pretty well with answering all the questions. He didn't freak out. But Bernie Sanders was getting way too political, trying to pitch in his Medicare for all every 5 seconds he could, talking about how that would save us from corona and all this. And look, maybe not. But the issue was, what would you do now? What can we do now? And I feel like the questions they were asking were just absolutely not worth it. And because of that, it's, this is not a time to be divided and argue about whose fault it is. They're talking about China and if there will be any punishment to China. And again, this is not the time to worry about punishments and all those issues. It will be a time to stand together. And it's time for us to really stand together and get out of it. It's time for us to work together, get out of the situation, and then deal with whose fault it was, what issues there were, who you can blame whoever you want, but it's about what do we have to do now. We have to stand together. We have to stop being so freaked out, stop panicking, take safety precautions, and just go at it. Work together and relax, because the more you panic, the more it's going to look like the end of the world. But it's not. We'll get through it, guys. We'll get through it. That's why I'm here. You have my videos to watch as you're in quarantine. You can catch up on all the videos. Just chill out, guys. And again, my opinions, right? Don't take this lightly, but don't take it too seriously where you're freaking out and you're too worried, because the more we freak out, the worse it's going to get, right? It's the more it's going to be on your mind. This is a time to expand, to grow, to really find new solutions, see where your weak points are. If you're being impacted financially, and the shutting down of restaurants, I know it's impacted a ton of people. Look, it's time to really consider, like, there's my weak point right here. If this is like, what am I doing to secure myself? Because if this was a real recession, how would I make more money? How would I make sure that I didn't close down? We closed down for 2 weeks, but what if this is a lot longer? You have to be protected, and this is a great time to think about your weaknesses and what you have to be working on. With that being said, though, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about the coronavirus, your response. If you think it's getting way too much media coverage, if you think it's not getting enough media coverage, if you think this should be more political, if you think that the candidates during the election year should be focusing more on this, if you think that it's all just a show and they should focus more on actually helping people and giving great advice, I'm curious to know what you guys think. It's gonna be interesting to see what you guys are think of and want plan on discussion. So leave a comment down below. Leave a like if you like this video. It helps me grow and helps me show that you guys are liking the videos as well. That being said, my name is David. Thank you so much for checking out another one of my videos, and I'll see you guys in another one of my videos. Peace out.